Have you ever found yourself desperately trying to quiet your thoughts, only to have them roar back even louder, like an unrelenting storm inside your head? Those uninvited ideas that creep in, stealing your peace, or the painful memories that resurface as if no time has passed at all, leaving you feeling trapped and exhausted. You attempt to pray, but distractions pull you away. You lie down to sleep, yet wake up more drained than before. You long to hear a divine whisper, but all that echoes are your own doubts and fears. It's like being locked in a room with no doors, where the chaos feels endless, and you wonder if this is just how life is supposed to be. Stress, fatigue, or the weight of years piling up. But deep down, you sense it's something more profound. Something you've tried to fix with conversations, isolation, or endless searching. Yet nothing shifts because the real battle isn't out there in the world, it's raging within your mind. And what so many overlook is that this invisible cage might have a spiritual root, a hidden key waiting to be turned. A simple yet powerful practice that seems almost too ordinary, but holds the ability to unlock transformation from the inside out, not through physical effort or emotional fixes, but through a divine cleansing that starts in the depths, where few dare to look. This struggle you're facing isn't random, it's patterned, with origins that trace back through time, and most importantly, there's a path to victory, not through sheer willpower, but through spiritual guidance revealed in ways that natural eyes might miss, yet faith can grasp. What you'll uncover here isn't from self-help books or fleeting theories. It's an ancient secret woven into sacred teachings, revealed only to those ready to receive a spiritual code that erases distortions, realigns the scattered, and heals the broken, leading to a mind at rest, a soul in peace, and a spirit attuned to the divine voice once more. If this resonates with the quiet ache in your heart, that longing for relief from the mental noise that's held you captive, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Let's where souls like yours find the tools to break free, and drop a 1 in the comments to affirm you're ready for this inner shift. Stay with me through every word, not out of mere curiosity, but because your spirit needs. This today could be the day something silences within you, allowing clarity to emerge, proving that the divine is still speaking, still clearing the way. In these moments, we'll explore how the divine transforms minds surrendered to that gentle guidance, drawing from timeless stories that show thoughts as spiritual tools or weapons, revealing why battles are often lost in the mind before they ever reach our actions. You'll learn to spot the voices sabotaging your trust, recognize subtle signs of inner contamination, and invite sacred guidance to steer your thoughts toward tranquility. As we go deeper, you'll feel each insight addressing that unspoken burden you've carried alone, offering cleansing, restoration, and order to what's been silently wearing you down. If you've reached this point, it's no accident something greater led you here, with a gift waiting if you prepare your heart. By the end, your inner world won't feel the same. Thoughts can seem insignificant at first, slipping in like a subtle drop of toxin into pure water, unnoticed until they build into overwhelming confusion, anxiety, or uncertainty that poisons even the strongest faith. This contamination isn't always obvious, but its roots run deep, echoing the first human struggle, not in the physical realm, but in the realm of ideas, where doubt was planted before any act of defiance, as a whispered suggestion challenged what was known to be true. That same tactic persists, not with loud confrontations, but quiet insinuations that question divine goodness, forgiveness, or possibility, knowing that once thoughts are captured, self-destruction follows without a single external blow. Many carry these mental barriers, built from childhood wounds, unresolved hurts, or accepted falsehoods that echo relentlessly or inadequate, unworthy, unchanging, turning the mind into a silent arena of defeat, accepted as normal life, when it's anything but. Sacred wisdom urges us to capture every thought, aligning it with obedience, discerning origins, and rejecting what doesn't belong, because merely suppressing negativity isn't enough. True freedom comes from allowing the divine to uproot poisoned foundations and sow seeds of truth, healing, and hope. Just as, with a leader once burdened by guilt and self-doubt, who questioned his worthiness for a great calling, yet was transformed through persistent divine reassurance, emerging to free an entire people, proving that before hands can act, the mind must be renewed. If this stirs a familiar pain, that sense of being held back by invisible chains you fought alone for too long, subscribe now to join others breaking free from similar struggles, and leave a 2 in the comments as your step toward claiming that renewal. Surrender is where real change ignites, when you stop gripping control, solving everything solo, or pretending strength amid the crush, and admit the restlessness can't be managed alone. That's when peace flows, not from striving, but from release. A once zealous pursuer discovered this on a dusty road. Convictions shattered in a blinding encounter, left in darkness and silence where the divine began reshaping not just sight, but inner chaos into clarity. True renewal demands humility, faith, and letting go of burdensome ideas, memories, and confusions that logic can't untangle. Yielding to a sacred presence that reshapes like a potter mending cracked clay, not discarding, but reforming into something whole. From that point of yield, guidance emerges clear and profound. If this awakens a yearning to finally release what's weighed you down unspoken, hit subscribe to connect with a community walking this path of surrender, and type 3 in the comments to open your heart to that fresh start. The mental clamor often drowns out everything else, overlapping worries about the future, regrets from what went wrong, racing predictions, trying to outrun uncertainty as if a crowd clamors nonstop within, leaving no room for stillness, even when the body rests. Yet there's a voice that silences it all when truly heard, one that doesn't compete, but invites quiet. A weary prophet, overwhelmed after great feats, hid in isolation wishing for escape, yet, in that shadowed space, the divine spoke not through dramatic displays, but a gentle whisper, revealing answers in the hush. Divine communication thrives in spaces cleared of rush, stepping away from constant noise, devices, and distractions to create intentional devotion, tuning the spirit like a receiver finding its signal, where clarity cuts through, bringing not confusion, but healing, direction, and profound peace. Felt like a soothing embrace amid turmoil. If this touches the exhaustion you've hidden, that deep need for a voice to cut through your inner storm and bring the rest you've craved, subscribe to stay tuned to messages that guide you toward hearing it. And drop a 4 in the comments to invite that whisper into your life. Words can taint the mind, those heard from others, repeated inwardly, or hurled like wounds that embed deeply, but there's a living word that purifies, healing with precision, not from fleeting feelings, but eternal truth. Set apart as a sanctifying force, hiding this word within acts as a guardian, filtering out distortions, and renewing from the core, like steady drops, cleansing invisible grime, turning repetitive declarations into weapons against doubt, meditation into deep restoration where unseen shifts build resilience. Even if initial encounters feel unremarkable, persistence reveals its power, reshaping heaviness into lightness, lies into truth, creating no space for guilt or fear as the mind draws nearer to divine perspective. If you're sensing this as the key to washing away the mental burdens you've carried in silence, subscribe to explore more of these transformative truths together, and leave a 1 in the comments to commit to letting that word take root. Every action springs from thought, the paths chosen, words spoken, decisions made, all originating in the mind. The gateway to spiritual living. If contaminated by defeatist ideas, even fervent prayers falter short of promise. A people once, on the cusp of abundance, let inferiority cloud their vision, seeing themselves diminished, barring entry to what was destined, not by external foes, but internal limits. How many opportunities have you bypassed from similar Sacred truth reminds that inner musings shape identity, urging realignment through declaration, prayer, and vigilance, reprogramming with promises over fears. Like a ship's rudder, guiding vast journeys with subtle shifts, a focused mind steers toward destiny amid storms, unswayed by turbulence when anchored in eternal guidance. If this evokes the frustration of unclaimed promises due to lingering doubts you've wrestled with alone, subscribe to gain strength for redirecting your course, and type 2 in the comments to declare your intent to realign. Not all appealing thoughts originate divinely, some mask as reason or care, subtly diverting from purpose. Discerning sources is vital for faithful walking, weighing against peace, scriptural alignment, and humility. A disciple's protective intent was rebuked as contrary to heaven's plan, highlighting even well-meant ideas can stem from elsewhere. Discipline involves journaling thoughts, comparing to truth's scale, ensuring balance toward peace over fear. If this highlights the confusion of mixed signals you've navigated in quiet turmoil, subscribe to sharpen your discernment alongside others, and drop a 3 in the comments to begin that practice. A mind adrift invites chaos, but one led by sacred guidance transforms impulses into reflections of divine nature, fostering self-control and love through ongoing communion. A faithful witness, amid persecution, fixed on heavenly vision, transcended suffering, exemplifying elevation beyond pain. Proximity to presence reshapes reactions, like sails catching wind when positioned rightly, moving forward even in scarcity. If this stirs the desire to rise above daily pressures that have left you feeling unanchored, subscribe to learn how to position your spirit for that guidance, and leave a 4 in the comments to affirm your openness. Thoughts carry unseen influences. Unchecked, they imprison. Scripture calls for capturing them in obedience, waging war with authority, confronting distortions with truth, declaring freedom over isolation, strength over weakness. In trial, the divine Son countered twisted suggestions with precise affirmations, modeling resistance through knowledge and declaration. Guard your inner city, scrutinizing entries, rejecting toxicity to preserve peace. If this addresses the subtle traps that have ensnared your thoughts without you realizing, subscribe to arm yourself with these strategies, and type 1 in the comments to claim that authority. Divine direction emerges in inner stillness, where control yields to trust, as when a patriarch followed an unknown call, revelation unfolding post-obedience. Lean not on limited understanding but on boundless sight, silencing what-ifs with surrender, paving for peace amid uncertainty. If this eases the anxiety of unclear paths you've pondered alone at night, subscribe to navigate them with renewed trust, and drop a 2 in the comments to embrace that leap. Hidden pains linger silently, shaping self-perception through wounds, yet healing starts inwardly, replacing lies with affirmations. As a barren woman's bitterness turned to joy through transparent plea. Restoration isn't magic, but surrender, forgiving self and others, exposing burdens for divine touch. Like a deep well accessed only by grace, the mind releases scars, breathing joy anew. If this heals the quiet hurts you've buried, subscribe to continue this journey of restoration, and leave a 3 in the comments to release yours. Silent fatigue. From mental overload distances presence, yet reconnection demands focus. As one sister chose listening over busyness, affirmed as the better portion. Peace anchors in fixation on the eternal, not absence of issues, clearing fogged reflections through intentional pauses. If this relieves the weariness of scattered days you've endured in isolation, subscribe to rediscover that focus, and type 4 in the comments to seek it in turbulent times. Prophetic alertness clears to discern heavenly moves, as a builder heeded warnings amid mockery, preserving through obedience. Watchfulness aligns with signs, resisting sophisticated distractions, via fasting from noise, silent prayer, gratitude, A vigilant mind recognizes divine now, ready for challenges and wonders. If this awakens urgency amid your own chaos, subscribe to stay alert together. And drop a 1 in the comments to commit. Transformation renews inwardly, as a tormented woman became witness post-liberation, old passing for new creation. Testimony flows from choosing divine narrative over past, rewriting destiny through declarations. Like turning a marked page, grace crafts victory from pain. If this frees you from yesterday's shadows you've carried heavily, subscribe to live your new story, and leave a 2 in the comments to declare it. Divine renewal recreates deeply, exchanging burdens for hope, as a psalmist's plea for clean heart, birthed steadfast spirit, replace old with truth through meditation, confession, yielding daily. Like fresh garments, it reflects favor, peace. If this ignites desire for that profound shift from inner turmoil, subscribe to pursue it, and type 3 in the comments to welcome it. Isolation weakens, but community renews, as early believers strengthened through fellowship, sharpening one another, surround with faith builders to guard, grow. Like embers igniting together, support lifts amid doubt. If this eases loneliness in your spiritual battles, subscribe to join this supportive circle, and drop a 4 in the comments to connect. Limits block calls. As a prophet doubted youth, yet was empowered, preordained purpose, overriding insecurity. Renew to unlock destiny, focusing on divine identity through prayer, declaration. Like key turning door, alignment manifests mission. If this overcomes inadequacy feelings that have silenced your potential, subscribe to step into yours, and leave a 1 in the comments to affirm. Divine voice whispers clearly to attuned spirits. As a young servant learned discernment, responding to subtle call, trained through silencing noise, aligning with peace, truth. Like tuned frequency, clarity emerges in stillness. If this answers your longing for clearer guidance amid confusion, subscribe to fine-tune yours, and type 2 in the comments to listen. Presence purifies profoundly, as a prophet's vision revealed in purity, touched by grace, preparing for mission. It renews unseen, consuming distortions like fire refining altar. Cultivate daily through prayer, praise, fasting, fellowship. Adjusted lens sees opportunities, not obstacles. If this purifies hidden impurities you've sensed, subscribe to experience ongoing renewal, and drop a 3 in the comments to invite it. Purification demands confrontation, capturing thoughts in obedience, resisting with truth as in wilderness trials. Guard doors, declare over fears. Like screened city, preserve inner peace. If this equips against mental assaults that have wearied you, subscribe to Fortify Daily, and leave a 4 in the comments to stand firm. Renewal transforms perspective, confronting limits with promises, persistent process yielding peace. Garden metaphor, weed, negativity, water, truth for growth. If this plants hope where despair grew, subscribe to cultivate it, and type 1 in the comments to nurture. Redeem painful memories through focus on faithfulness, transforming wounds into testimonies, as a lamenter chose hope amid anguish. Replace destructive recalls with victories declared, like patched cloth restored, meaning shifts. If this heals echoing pains you've relived alone, subscribe to redeem yours, and drop a 2 in the comments to transform. Discern emotional from spiritual to protect clarity, training sensitivity on peace, truth, humility. Wise plea for understanding, built justice. Filter like mixed waters, rejecting impurity. If this clarifies blurred impulses that misled you, subscribe to hone discernment, and leave a 3 in the comments to weigh wisely. Divine signs organize confusion, as visionary calls redirected missions, using dreams, closures, openings. Pray for clarity, note impressions, like road signs, attentiveness guides. If this illuminates tangled paths you've wandered, subscribe to notice more, and type 4 in the comments to seek signs. Unshakable faith yields in uncertainty, as patriarchal tests proved trust over logic. Leap with conviction, declaring amid unseen. If this bolsters amid doubts that shook you, subscribe to build it, and drop a 1 in the comments to trust. Anchor in promises amid delays. As Scout's faith claimed abundance despite odds, declare aloud to nourish weakened out. Like storm-tossed ship secured, stability holds. If this steadies unfulfilled weights that tested you, subscribe to anchor deeper, and leave a 2 in the comments to keep promises alive. Prophesy life over dry thoughts, as valley bones revived through declaration. Word waters, renews. Like rained garden blooming, transformation sprouts. If this revives faded dreams you've mourned, subscribe to declare over yours, and type 3 in the comments to breathe life. Victory births inwardly, convincing mind first, as hidden warrior emerged against odds. Posture attracts favor through confession. Like unified army advancing, conviction wins. If this prepares for battles you've feared, subscribe to claim early triumph, and drop a 4 in the comments to confess victory. Intercession liberates from self-focus, as captive turned through praying for others. Pour out to cleanse, flow blessings. Like undammed river purifying, movement heals. If this frees inward dams that stagnated you, subscribe to intercede with us, and leave a 1 in the comments to name someone. Obey despite logic for harvest, as netcast yielded abundance through trust. Recognize voice over circumstance. Like soldier acting loyally, discipline yields miracles. If this calls beyond hesitation that's cost you, subscribe to train obedience, and type 2 in the comments to act in faith. Release past weights for new beginnings, as encountered woman announced freedom. Truth rewrites, blood rebuilds. Like turned page, destiny renews. If this lightens buried shame you've shouldered, subscribe to embrace fresh starts, and drop a 3 in the comments to declare identity. Vigilance preserves purity, as rebuilder prayed and watched against threats. Filter influences, declare word. Like guarded city, protect restoration. If this alerts to subtle contaminations that crept in, subscribe to maintain watch, and leave a 4 in the comments to guard. Redeemed imagination portals, revelations, as visionary saw glorified, mind canvas for divine. Aligned to visualize promises. Like blank canvas painted, faith and light. If this unlocks creative faith amid dullness, subscribe to see heavenly, and type 1 in the comments to sanctify yours. Spirit mentors precisely, as directed encounters saved souls. Whispered discerned in stillness. Like close wind heard, sensitivity grows. If this attunes to guidance you've missed, subscribe to learn listening, and drop a 2 in the comments to ask instruction.